try to figure out if I can teach you Zotero. So the first thing you need to know about Zotero is that it is a really good way to manage your citations, right? So the first thing you do is you go to zotero.org, you log in, and you can either use the web library, which is you can just do it online and you don't need to download any programs, which is what it looks like here, or you can download it to your Mac and use it on your desktop. If you use it on your desktop, the best thing to do is in your browser, if it's Firefox, Chrome, Safari, whatever, you get a Zotero extension. So on Chrome, it's a Zotero connector, and it looks like this little thing. So it'll just be a Save to Zotero button. So the way that works is if I wanted to download, for example, if I wanted to save the citation for this article on JSTOR, I don't even have to click download PDF. I would just first click on this, and it would save it to, let's say I want to save it to my library. It'll save it to my library, which is right there. And if I wanted to download a book, I would do the same thing. The sign changes. It changes from an article to a book, and I can save it right there, and it'll save the whole thing. So that is Mandarins of the Future, which is the book right there, right? So that is how you want to save citations really quickly as you are looking at articles online or looking at books online. But now let's say you're using it for what you usually are going to be using it for, is making sure you can create a proper bibliography, right? So if I open Word, and let's say I am writing about something, anything. Let's say I want to write about the World Commission on Dams, and I want to create a bibliography for this item. So if I'm creating a footnote, I would just click Notes, Copy to Clipboard, or you can save it in other forms, but I just click Copy to Clipboard, and I copy it, and so I can write about the World Commission on Dams, and then I can cite it really quickly. So I'm writing about this article, and then I want to find the footnote, so I go to Zotero, find the footnote, create bibliography, find the footnote, copy and paste. There it is, right? Now you're wondering, wait, Varsha, I want to create a whole works cited page. So all you have to do is click, you select all of it, you right click, you create bibliography from items, you create your bibliography, you copy to clipboard, you click OK, and boom, you can create a whole, your whole bibliography is right here. So that is why Zotero is useful, and that is what I use it for. So as I am going through the articles I'm reading on JSTOR, or going through the books that I'm reading, I'm immediately putting them into Zotero. You don't have to use the Chrome extension. You can also create it by hand. So basically, you can create your own book, a section of a book, a document, journal article, newspaper article. You can do this exact same thing for a bunch of other things: artwork, audio recording, blog posts, conference papers, etc., right? So you can create citations for basically anything. Most people I know use it for secondary sources, but you can also use it for primary sources. I'm just a secondary source kind of gal, but if you want to know what I'm using for primary sources, I can do a separate video on that later. But basically, this is how it works for secondary sources. As I am doing research for something, I will save all the documents. So for example, when I was researching for this article that I was writing on with another person on America First, every time I read a new article or a book, I would put it in here, right? So I put a speech that I read by Charles Lindbergh. I put in books and articles and other speeches, right? I put a Donald Trump speech, a bunch of different speeches, newspaper articles, from back in the day. So newspaper articles back in the day, I mean like 2 years ago, but also like other types of articles. And as you are doing this, it helps, because then when you have to create a works cited page, or if you're citing stuff really quickly, all you have to do is go to Zotero and find it, right? Because you can search by fields and tags. Another reason Zotero is useful is because while you're doing this, right, so let's say I'm reading this article right now on my iPad or my computer, instead of typing notes in a separate place, you can actually copy and paste all of your notes right into here. Or you can type your notes into here as you're doing it, right? So each of these sources could have a little notes page where you type in basically why this is important to you, how this fits into your research. Another reason Zotero is useful is because you can add you can really edit the citations to anything. So for example, if the Chrome extension doesn't get it right, you can add another author here. You can fix all of these other things such as series title, etc. So you don't have to stick with the type of citations Zotero has made for you or the citation that the website has made for you. You can also create tags. Another thing that's useful for is if you're mapping out your essay, you can relate your source that you're reading right now, this evaluating large dams article, to a bunch of other articles, right? And so you can basically create a massive brain map of exactly how different articles or sources are linked to each other. So that's why Zotero is a really powerful and useful tool, and ultimately it's free, right? You don't really have to upgrade your storage space. I haven't upgraded my storage space, and I think this is my non-institutional account. So that's basically what I know about Zotero, like the basics, right? I think I can go into more detail if you need me to, but this is all you really need to know, is that you need to have a Chrome extension, you need to know what you're citing, and once you find the citation, you can create bibliographies, you can create individual footnotes, and that way all you are ever doing while you are writing is just writing. And so when you are doing your footnotes, you don't have to do your footnotes by hand. That's why it's useful. And ultimately, it's a great way to organize the types of resources you've read, right? So like, for example, this is my dissertation folder, and it's organized by date right now, date of publication, but I can also organize it by author, etc., right? And it's a really useful way to just think about in big picture what type of research you're doing, how far you've gotten, and what else you need to look into, right? So that's why I think Zotero is useful. In another video, I can go over DevonThink or Ulysses or Notion, but I think Zotero is the first thing that anybody who's working in the humanities or social sciences needs, and they are tackling a big writing project with a lot of footnotes. This is a great way to work. It's also a really great way to work if you are doing comps, so you can put in all of the books from all of your lists on comps, and you can type in notes for every single book, right? And then you can export those notes as well. So it's a win-win-win. I think the best part about it is that it's free, and it took me like 5 minutes to learn and to figure out. So at least to learn to the extent that I needed it. I mean, I can probably be doing a lot more with it that I'm not, but hopefully this was helpful.